Lunchbox was one movie which gave me all the three things that I really love on a platter: movie, food, and silence. A silence that often speaks and emotes more than sometimes words do. It's a movie which is set in the hustle and bustle of metropolis Mumbai, whose eagerness and quickness perhaps rubs off emotion out of people's mind and sets in a pensive emotional melancholy which can make anyone seek refuge and settlement in life in a abode which isn't yours. Irfan Khan, who plays the role of a widowed husband, has been laboring in one job since past 35 years at a desk job in government's insurance claim department. He has camouflaged his loneliness in the mundane office routines and reflection of his wife's memory and the time that he spent with her and things he wished he could tell her. While Nimrat Kaur plays the role of a middle aged wife who is busy in the daily routines of a married housewife in India, whose life revolves around her kids and her husband, while what she wants and hankers for, nobody cares for that. What she has been trying to gather his husband's attention via food or sometimes even physically enticing him, nothing seems to work out in a boring marriage. The melancholy and misanthropy that a boring marriage brings seem to haunt her, and she has been trying to reference her own marriage with that of an invisible auntie that she shares a friendly vibe with, and with that of her own mother. One underlying common focal point in both her referential marriages has been how male dominant these marriages have been, and how every time it was the women who was sacrificing her being for that of a men, while the men are oblivious of the women's need for love. This scares her to death. On the other hand, for Irfan Khan, his source of pensive sadness has been the lack of family around him to come back to and someone whom he can share his pain, sorrow, and happiness. An interesting observation that I had in the movie was that sometimes having people around doesn't necessarily qualify as having a family. Irfan Khan had no one and was lonely, while Nimrat Kaur had everything: a kid, a husband, parents, and she was still lonely and hurt. Having people around that make you heard and wanted is important than just having people around yourself. The conversations between these two central characters and the story that leads to build up of those conversations is immensely beautifully set up. Why I said immensely? Because you could see the story arc progressing in a sensible manner where every repercussion had an emotional sentiment of present or past situation. The story is breathtakingly fresh from the aggressive and over the top movies that had been served by the Bollywood to us so far. Also, another interesting anecdote from the movie was the emotions that the cook and the eater of the food had with the lunchbox, and how a simple lunchbox is a symbolism of the equation between two people. It emotes a pace and depth of a relationship between two people. While several people in the office received their tiffin in a mundane and weren't affected much by the arrival of it, Irfan Khan and Nimrat Kaur, on the other hand, always had some sense of excitement before receiving the lunchbox. This emotional excursion from dull and boring life that they were leading via those letters and the image that they had forged for each other in their mind reignited some new passions and rigor in their life. One of the most beautiful and perhaps undermentioned and appreciated thing in the movie are its silences. My god, that's the best part in the movie. Which are just like salt in the food, in the right amount and in the right place, running the emotion in the background while not stopping the action to any reaction of the characters. Lunchbox is truly a testament of loneliness, confinement, and letters. It's a movie that you must watch if you haven't, and I genuinely believe that this was the most underrated movie in the past decade, perhaps. That's it from my guys. Thank you guys. I am Nikhil from Nikspeaks Cinema. Do like and follow.